This is happening way too often, and I don't think we realize it. There's an astronomical amount of maps that are just straight up wrong. Whether they're missing islands or countries, sometimes even entire continents. If you're familiar with my channel, you've probably heard of maps without New Zealand. This is probably the most popular landmass to be leaving off maps, and with over 100,000 members in this subreddit too, there's so many examples of this happening. In fact, there's an error page on the official New Zealand government website where they show a world map without New Zealand and say, sorry, something's missing. Which is probably the funniest way I've ever seen a site show, hey, there's like a network issue. The issue is, this problem is starting to get out of control. Look at all these subreddits made up of different places missing off of different maps. This one seems crazy to me. How do you miss Denmark? And this community has 14,000 members. How many maps can there really be, honestly, missing this place? Here's one of them, and worst of all, it seems to be from like a test. Study the picture below and then answer the following questions. Is this like a geography test? Why does Italy look like that? No, not you too, Dr. Doofenshmirtz. His map in the background also doesn't include Denmark. Phineas and Ferb confirming this nation does not actually exist. I mean, to be fair, that map's missing a whole lot of places. This one is just actually a travesty. Like, how are you gonna do a literal work of art and then just miss Denmark? Was somebody trolling and they painted over it? Incredibly, they managed to remember New Zealand, but not Denmark. I'm starting to think like they're doing it on purpose. I mean, I guess when you have to actually draw the landmass, but in this example, all they had to do was literally type Denmark. Taking a look at some of these other communities, how do you miss something like Europe? That's like, of all the continents, that one is usually a pretty popular one. It's one thing to miss Denmark, but the entire continent Denmark exists on? Okay, that's I see what you did there. It's a camouflage joke. All right, but this is like literally insane. Japan, who did this? Is it artists? Should we be blaming artists for this? Is this some sort of new age abstract art or something? Did they try to make this as horrific as humanly possible? Another example, this is a Chinese logo in a Chinese shop. As you can see, the eagle, well, for some reason just deleted all of Europe, which I guess to be fair, I mean, why would they care if it's in China? But still, also, is this a reference to World War II Germany? Unbelievably, there are still more examples of this. Here's a mini globe that did literally just cut off all of Europe, which is so weird because they clearly managed to get small details right, like the Horn of Africa, South Asia. I mean, they even have Madagascar down here, for God's sake. But what happened? Are they doing this on purpose? Another globe example, this one is just way more egregious. Like, it's literally being sold in a store. Maybe the promo is in the background because it did just delete 700 million people. I don't even know how does this happen? And I thought this subreddit would just be like mostly BS posts. No, it is real. There are plenty of examples. Not you too, World of Minds app game. I'm assuming that's what this is. To be fair, they did include Finland, Scandinavia, and Norway for whatever reason, so they didn't delete all of Europe. Okay, yes, technically this is a map or globe without Europe, although it does have one singular European country. I actually really want to buy this for myself, in fact. I mean, maps without the UK, that's also oddly specific. I guess, what is worse? Like, missing an entire continent or missing like a pretty iconic part of the continent? I mean, most world maps literally has this country as the very center of it all. Seems like kind of a pretty difficult place to miss, especially with their history and how many people they've touched. Okay, this was found in a literal Finnish textbook. I figured all the maps here would just be like kind of Brexit maps, but no, this seems to be like a cultural map. Here's a data map showing the number of oofs in World War I. Are we missing something here, guys? A pretty big player in World War I too. It's not like the UK just wasn't involved. I like how the map does include countries that didn't participate in World War I. They're still here on the map. Okay, this is actually getting insane. The World Health Organization does not have the UK on their map. This is the World Health Organization. Who? This is literally who? Who's gonna tell them? You gotta love this one. This one might be my favorite. This is the literal logo of the Socialist Labour Party, a British political party. And they had two chances to do it. They messed it up both times. Two opportunities to throw the country they're supposed to be politically a part of, but I literally don't even know what to say. What is going on? I actually thought this was going to be kind of a stupid video. Like, I thought it was going to be just like a lot of dumb jokes. Haha, look, this country isn't here. But so many of these examples are like making me lose lose faith in humanity. This is a fascinating one because clearly the tattoo artist chose to put some islands and not others. Like no Britain, no New Zealand, no Japan, but for some reason the island of Guinea. Is that the Maldives? The artist put what looks to be like the Galapagos Islands and Panama as an island, so he's making islands but not including the islands that he should be. For some reason these northern Canadian islands which have like 12 people living on each. Like I'm not focused so much on like the UK or Japan that's missing, all the places that are missing. I'm just interested in like why choose the islands he did choose to include here. I've got so many questions. What's interesting is that there's even more members in the Maps Without Japan community than the UK one, so clearly there's even more examples of this. I mean, Japan has the 3rd largest economy in the world. It seems like a hard place to forget, to be honest. A map for modern lighting voltage. They included literally every place except for Japan. I guess they're still living like from 250 years ago because they don't have electricity. Is that what this map is pretty much saying? How about this map of a literal school worksheet, which obviously Japan is missing, but so much is also missing out here. They don't have the UK. Most of these continents look like scribbles, and then they have the audacity to put like a literal compass, like just making it seem like, yeah guys, this is so real. Well, there's a compass. Yeah, real nice way to teach all the students. Another map without Japan, unless they meant whatever this thing is to be Japan. I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be the Philippines. I don't really even care they're missing Japan here. What the hell is that? Why did you, I mean, I guess it's better they included the UK. There is no Ireland, but why do them like that? So what is this in the Mediterranean? Restaurants just have to stop doing this. Like it's always gonna turn out badly. Here's an official website for an escape room known as Fox in a Box. It's a global brand with 33 locations on 44 continents, yet there seems to be a place missing. It'd be even better if they were located in Japan. Let's see. Well, they have Asia, and I guess they must have updated this website because Japan is there now. Okay, they're only in Hong Kong. I guess it's fair that they missed Japan before. I do find so many of these maps fascinating though when they get literally everything else right except one place is missing, like Japan, also New Zealand. Also the island Tasmania just south of Australia oftentimes is getting left out, which yes, of course, there's also a community about that as well. Now this is a hilarious subreddit because I'm actually going to allow this. I agree with all these maps about the up. If you didn't know, our US state of Michigan actually has 2 different peninsulas. This one above is known as the Up or the Upper Peninsula. I mean, if this doesn't confirm that landmass should either be its own state or just given to Wisconsin, even Yakko himself from the Animaniacs messed up when labeling Michigan. They only highlighted this part and not this part. Then again, this cartoon just must have like a really big grudge against Michigan. Like what the hell is even that? I just like how this problem can hit so close to home. There are tons of maps that forget that this part is also Michigan. Or sometimes even better, they forget this upper peninsula is actually a landmass. This has them labeled as a lake, meanwhile this lake labeled as the that was posted by an account called Explore USA. You would think they would know better. Clearly they're not exploring all that much. Here's an even worse example from the literal Fox News. They apparently still don't know where Canada is as of November 18th. I mean, it's one thing to not give Michigan the up, and it's a complete other when giving Canada more territory. Usually if that area is given to anyone, it's Wisconsin. I don't know how that was given to Canada. Like this, for example. This is not that bad. This is a very common mistake. Or at least I would be saying this is a very common mistake to give the Upper Peninsula of Michigan to Wisconsin here. However, apparently that map was found in a local library and this person lives in Michigan. Come on. Anyone else can mess this up, but not you. Here's a beautiful example of how the tables have turned. Again, something that looks like a very official map, but they did include the up. It was the other peninsula they're missing, which I'm not even really sure how that's supposed to even happen. I guess it's kind of like missing Denmark. Michigan and Denmark kind of have a lot of similarities now that I think about it. What else do we have here? I mean, there's still so many different communities to look at. To be fair, South Sudan is the youngest nation on Earth. I get, you know, the maps, there might be some old ones without them. Some of the smaller places I also understand, like Malta. I always forget to, you know, put Malta on my maps. Maps without Portugal. How do you miss Portugal? I mean, if you're like drawing Spain, for instance, you kind of have to go out of your way to not include Portugal. You'd have to literally cut them out like what seems to be intentionally if you didn't want to put them out there like that. And missing the islands, I get, even if it is a bigger island like the UK or Japan. But yeah, I guess somehow this is still being done. I don't even know what this is. It's like in Polish for like car appraisal. In a way, I even kind of get Denmark. It's so easy just to chop it off and give everything to Germany. But no, they literally went out of their way to remove Portugal. Uniqlo from Toronto, very anti-Portuguese, I guess. Now, to be fair, they did include it. They just put it kind of in a, I don't know. I really don't understand how this was even possible. Here's from Nintendo themselves. They're sick of Japan getting left off maps. They really did just cut out Portugal. That's crazy. I mean, yes, the British Isles does now connect with the, continental European continent. Why did they cut them out, though? Not you too, Vox. The all too very credible Vox. Apparently extremely anti-Portuguese, I guess. This was just included on the Maps Without Portugal subreddit. I don't know how you forget France. There are some places that I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how to explain this anymore. I love how oddly specific they get sometimes. Maps without half of New Zealand. Again, like, I can't help but click. Like, how does this even happen? Well, I guess that's how. To be fair, maybe just the top island got chipped off here. This was found in a shop in northern Macedonia. Okay, this is a screenshot from the YouTube channel Kurskazgat. I butchered that pronunciation so bad, but I'm not gonna do it over again. This is like an artistic thing, I think, but I don't know. I feel like you could have put like one more dot here. I'm kind of just in shock of everything I've seen here today. I don't know how we're ever gonna recover from this. Big thanks to my patrons this month. Kansas was mentioned. KingBearHaze. JohnDenver. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. DaBeautiful-MEGAN-Underwood. Archaeology. aPhatNarwhal. Carmel S. Connor Pavlik. DOOCHBAGGINS. Fredrik Tibblin.
LuxembourgLover.
Traven.
Tambre.
Sebby, if you hear this,
KirinoIsBestGirl.
I love you. The Mexican 760.